Hi, everybody, and welcome back to La Capricornia with me, Priscilla Moreno. For this episode, I do want to go over having gratitude for the little things. And for me, I think that's a huge, important way to even manifest these bigger things that you're looking for because I feel the more that you're enjoying your time in the process of getting to this, the more that you're going to start, feeling like, hey, I can do this. I'm positive about this. You start seeing things a lot more clearly. So, for example, if one of the things that you're manifesting is, hey, I want to be financially stable or anything like that, I don't care if it's a penny. If you see little things, coming in for you, whether it's, hey, I found a penny on the floor, just be happy about it, It could be a sign of like, hey, it's leading you to bigger things and to shift your focus in that direction. So, today might be a penny, tomorrow might be $1, might be $5. And it's just that thought process of being grateful of like, hey, I didn't have this before and it's something that I have now. And even though it's small, you're probably still going to use it, especially if you need it, right? And then you start shifting your focus to like, okay, well, how can I, get this now? Or, instead of having to live, a certain way, maybe you need to rebudget your life so you're not, hoping to find these dollars and pennies. And it really starts shifting your mind. So it's definitely one of the ways I feel that, it can help you out to start reshifting your focus into the right manifestation. And on top of that, I just feel like your guides are also trying to get you to enjoy, like I said, that time in between. Because if you're just so upset, that let's say, hey, I really want to get to this end goal, this manifestation, whether even if it's inside of you, right? Like, I want to be a better person overall. I want to be healed. You know, if you're not enjoying those little moments in between of that healing process, you're just going to be so upset and you're never going to get to this, right? And it could be again like little things. For example, like for me, I remember back in the day, when I wanted to get to a certain point of being healed from a certain situation, I used to get so upset, like, why can't I just get over this? Why isn't it as easy, as maybe a different situation that was similar to this? Why can't I just close this door? And I used to get so upset. And when I really started to, enjoy the little moments, you know, maybe I wasn't so obsessed about the situation one day. I don't care if it was one day, it was one day that I could breathe, and it was really being grateful towards myself, towards my guides for being able to do that, right? Um, you start realizing, hey, now that I am not, in this situation, I can do this, this, and this. And I know we all go through that moment where we realize that, but are we really doing it, And then you start realizing, like, hey, the more that I'm starting to shift my focus to this and doing this and get, taking advantage of these opportunities, of having a chance to like do these things, you're definitely going to start realizing like your perspective starts changing and you start going this way. And sooner or later, you have that moment of like, oh, I really do feel I'm truly over this, or I'm just, not in the space I was before. And again, it's all down to having that gratitude for these little steps, for these little moments, and for the messages being sent your way. I feel that sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves, especially when we're not at that end goal. I know I definitely can. I'm all earth. I'm definitely a huge Capricorn sign. And for me, it just, I can be my biggest critic. I can beat myself up over this because I will be like, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, and I will find myself, even to this day, sometimes still like holding myself to these things, right? And then I have to like find a way to reel myself back a bit to, not saying that I'm not gonna get here, but just be like, hey, like live in this moment. Stop being so upset because you're not here. Um, it's just like when I started this whole process back in November where I said, hey, I'm going to really do the things that I want to do. Like there's some goals that I felt I was there yet. I was scared to take that chance, but I want to see where I'm at. How am I going to know where I'm at when I really don't know where I'm at, right? Like my whole thought process was, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And then it was like those little moments, right? I definitely felt like, hey, taking that leap of even taking the first step of finding out, can I do this, right? Getting a plan together. And then it was like, okay. And I really took gratitude in knowing, like, okay, like, wow, I think I can do this. Even if it was that part of it, like, I just, hey. And then you start, like, literally my confidence just started building, you know. Then I went into, like, hey, now that I went from here actually doing it. And then it was like, oh, like I could do this, And then again, confidence building. Okay, now I gotta get to this next step. Okay, so and I was really grateful in each step because I was like, wow, and in that process, I really thanked myself like at every step because I was just like, wow, Priscilla, like you are really doing this. Like, congrats to you. I'm happy for you. Like, I would really tell myself these things like, yes, keep going. Like, even if at the end of the day hit that wall and I just couldn't do it. It was just having that confidence, and at least now I knew what I would have to go through and what I would have to do, let's say if I would have to do it the next time around. So it was very, it was very exciting. I was very grateful, and I got to my end goal. I definitely got to my end goal. And even just like I said, with my personal life, things, emotionally, not my personal life, but like emotionally, spiritually, it's all these steps. I can get so upset at myself, even sometimes for not figuring out signs soon enough. But again, I have to be aware, pay attention, be grateful because they are giving me little signs. I can't be given the playbook ahead of time and it's going for sure to happen. I can try working on this playbook. I can get signs that'll help me work on this playbook. But at the end of the day, your life is not going to get handed to you. You still need that guidance. You still need that help. And you still need to make the choices at the end from your side as well. You can only be guided and see the signs. And it's totally up to us to take these, chances, you guys. So definitely gratitude in the little moments, gratitude in the steps leading up to your, big success, your goal. And honestly, even if you don't get there, like I said, it's still a success because it's still something that you didn't, know how to do. But it will definitely help you the next time around if you choose to take that chance again. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm still getting over this cold. So the message for you guys now for your guided message. Okay. I already have shuffled these, but no, I just had that feeling to do it again. Okay, so I have the death in reverse, and do not be afraid. Everyone freaks out when they see the death card. This is actually telling you that there's still something holding you back, and it could be maybe these moments like I'm telling you gratitude, and I'm just, I don't know, maybe channeling with this message, but definitely it's something that's holding you back. But I definitely feel it's more mental. It's more of like you're holding yourself back. And I know we've been very big about letting go of limiting beliefs. Maybe it's starting to creep up again. Maybe you're starting, I was like, for the example that I have put in the past was, I can't do this by myself. I'm just one person. I had this limiting belief that would have to work with somebody else to get to certain goals. And, I thought I got past it, but then it's kind of creeping up again because, maybe you are so close to that end goal. So usually when we're like, that end goal is like right there, we start doubting ourselves, right? Because we start like taking into perspective, like, oh, like this end goal is going to mean this is all going to change. And then you start doubting yourself again, like, wow, did I mess up? Did I mess up in going this way? And I do feel like it's telling you that, like, that limiting belief, your thoughts that are in your head, try to be more positive. I definitely do see that you're kind of being a little stressed out. And honestly, it does resonate with me a lot too, because I do definitely know I can be like that, where I'm just like, oh, I can see it. I'm so close. And then I just start, I don't know if it's like the anxiousness of getting there or feeling like, just barely touching it, it might go away. You just start putting all these things in your head, and it's definitely making sure that you are pushing yourself through it. Okay, and now I have the King of Wands in reverse. So again, I do feel like this has to do with your confidence because the King of Wands is very confident. He's moving forward. He's planting seeds. He's, not scared of what's coming ahead of him. He's taking those chances and making changes. And this is totally the opposite. I feel like your confidence is starting to kind of be like, whew, like I said, maybe those limiting beliefs or those thoughts, something's coming into your head, and it can even be the people around you. And I'm not saying it just everybody, but I know there was a hidden truth that was going to come out this past week. I don't know if that came out for you, but I felt like it was more like a person based. So, like I said, sometimes when we're making these changes, someone's like, "Are you sure you can do that? Are you ready to take this on?" And they could just be doing it honestly, not with bad intentions, or they could be, but they could just be, worried for you. Like, I know I have had things in the past, like, like my mom or my dad, where they will like say certain things, like, are you sure? Like, oh my gosh, you're gonna do this? Like, you're doing this by yourself? Or like, they make these comments, and, you know, not that I expect them to be 100% by my side, but I think it's just their worry for me. And then, yeah, it does kind of affect me a bit because I'm just kind of, these are the people that you look up to, these are your parents. So then I'm like, oh, if they have their doubts, maybe they're seeing something I'm not, and you start kind of spiraling a little bit. But I do feel like you definitely have to get over these beliefs because I feel like what you're doing right now, it's not making sense to anyone. And I know I said this past week as well. It's not making sense to anyone, and or maybe certain people, but it's making sense to you. You're seeing the signs, you're going down this path, and it's making sense. So I would definitely, keep up that confidence, work on that, because at the end of the day, just focus on like what's right for you. Like, what do you want? What is right for you? I also said in my yearly reading that this is going to be a big you year. Like, I feel like you might be getting some help from people, some suggestions, things like that. um, but I definitely feel like the big answer for this year is you. What do you want? What are you thinking? Does this fit right with you? Does it make sense to you? I definitely feel like it's going to be a lot more based on you. And I do know our decisions are based definitely on ourselves, but you're not going to be relying that much on anyone else. Like, I just feel like the signs are just going to be so clear to you and it's going to make sense. Okay, now I have the Nine of Pentacles in reversed. So, which is funny because I did start off with this reading, with a financial example. I do feel like you're so focused on your finances, and maybe that's where this is all coming in, because you're like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Personally, I know I've told you guys, I'm getting a house, and with that comes, expenses I didn't know, things, add-ons, stuff like that, and you gotta start thinking, right? Because you can't have it all. Um, especially for me at this time. Either you could if you're able to, but definitely you want to be able to be financially stable. If you could do things, do them. If you can't, it's okay. Nobody's gonna judge you. Like, nobody's going to come at you and say like, hey, so you don't have this. Oh my gosh, you are so, terrible for not having this. At the end of the day, if something makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. It's just like with people who like fight over like the iPhone, Samsung thing, or like the other brands of phones. Like, there are some serious debates about this, which actually gonna shock me, right? Because there are people who are like, how can you have this phone? Like, the features, this and this and that. And I think I've used this example before. Then there are other people who are like, oh well, and this one you're limiting yourself, and it can just go so back and forth to the point that you're like, I don't even know what phone to get. Like, maybe you just want a phone. Like, I just want a phone, right? And at the end of the day, maybe the best thing for you is, hey, maybe this one, because it's affordable and it works. It does what you want it to do, right? You want to take a couple pictures, you want to, be able to scroll your social media, be able to make phone calls and texts. Maybe that's all you care about. Then, hey, this is definitely the best option for you. And then, for those that want to do other things, okay, then you can look at some of those details. But if, in all honesty, some of these things that are coming your way are, you know, things that just don't fit with you or don't make sense, like, why do it? Because this person has it, or because this celebrity has it, or because, you know, your best friend is like, oh my gosh, I love it, you need to have it. No offense to my best friend. So definitely pay attention to everything. Definitely, as always, disclaimer, you know, do what you will with your life, but it's definitely just a message that's coming through. If you want to take it for guidance, if not, totally up to you. Do whatever you like. Okay, and then your guided angelic message is shine your light, Archangel Uriel. Thank you, Uriel, for helping me share my light with the world. Um, so again, I do feel like, you know, while you're going through this, you definitely need to be more confident. Definitely getting the shine in your light, as in more like be confident and shine that light out there. And definitely confidence brings about so many things. You know, it brings about, you know, things in your life start going better because you start focusing on these positives. You're shining your light, you're, you know, getting brighter, you're getting brighter, and eventually not only are you going to be able to help yourself, but you're going to be able to help others. Okay, and the coffee cup oracle message is anchor, which is stability and security, which we just covered, you guys. So I definitely do feel like the focus is on stability, security. It could be finances, which definitely makes sense. You know, we're in the beginning of the year, things are happening. Some things are starting to get better, some things are starting to get worse. So we're having to kind of like re-budget some of the things and re-look at our life like, okay, well, what do I really want to, you know, spend my money on or focus on or things like that. So that's the message for this week. I hope you guys like it. I hope it resonates. I really do hope you make the things that are possible, and even if they're impossible, go after them the best that you can, and I hope you get there. So have a great week, everybody.